Mary Marshall here in the WSA 9 Weather Center. We've got a yellow weather alert for the afternoon for some strong to severe showers and storms, and we could also see some flash flooding. Thank you for joining us from our live stream this morning. Here's what's happening right now. This is your window to get some things done without having to worry about the rain. I'm tracking the showers are mainly over West Virginia and moving into western Maryland as we speak. Not much in the immediate D.C. metro area right now. So here we are around Oakland and Accident, and there you can see some light to moderate rain working its way in. This is going to become a bit more widespread around the region later on in the afternoon. Here's what you need to know. The key timing to pick up on some of the stronger showers and storms is after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Once we get to 4, 5, 6 o'clock, we'll see those showers and storms in the immediate D.C. metro area. That means your evening commute could be a wet one and it could be a stormy one. Our threats today include damaging wind. There's a small chance that we could see an isolated tornado, and we could also see enough heavy rain to cause some flooding. Now, once we get past this stormy pattern, we're going to get into the heat. We're going to see high temperatures staying in the 90s for the majority of this week. So the Storm Prediction Center has actually upgraded some areas into the slight risk category for severe storms. This green area that you see right here, which includes D.C., Leesburg, Manassas, Waldorf, Annapolis, that is the marginal risk for severe storms. On the scale of 1 to 5, that's about a threat level of a 1. Now, in this yellow area, northern Montgomery County into Frederick, Westminster, and some of the Baltimore suburbs, that's the slight risk category. That's a threat level of about a 2 out of 5. Nonetheless, even if those threats seem low to you, they are not off the table, and we do have some ingredients in the atmosphere that could lead to flash flooding, including a lot of moisture. We also have some low pressure in a front pushing toward our area, so those things will destabilize the atmosphere and give us the storms. For that reason, we have issued a yellow weather alert. That rain threat is, of course, high. Tornado threat very low. We don't really have much of a threat for hail today, but we certainly could see those damaging wind, about a moderate risk for seeing that in the storms that work their way in. So low pressure and a cold front approaching the area will be the trigger behind the showers and the storms. And let's track it all for you on Futurecast. This is today at 2:30. At that point, we'll begin to see a few showers and storms working their way in. Some areas are still dry at this point. Now, keep in mind, everyone may not necessarily see a severe storm. Some of you are just going to get a lighter shower or a lighter storm to pass across, and other places, unfortunately, are going to get hammered today. This is at 3:30 p.m. We can see some isolated showers and storms. Now, when it comes to about 4:30, you start to see a line, some squalls potentially forming here of showers and storms working their way into the area. This is at 5:30. They're sitting now right on top of the metro for that evening commute, and then this is at 7 o'clock in the evening. We still have those areas of heavy rain and perhaps some gusty, damaging winds as well, enough to snap a few trees and perhaps even take out some power lines. Moving the clock back to 7:30, still some showers and storms, and this is at 8:30 tonight. So I think our key window for storms in the immediate D.C. metro area is roughly 4 to 8 p.m., 4 to 9 p.m. Anywhere within that window is where you're looking at the shower and storm activity. If you're in the Virginia suburbs, I'm thinking by 9, 10 o'clock, most of these storms will have moved to the east of you, and then we'll continue to see them progressing further over to the east. Tuesday morning, a few clouds, perhaps a light shower in the morning. Most of that day is dry as well. Tuesday afternoon, we could still see another isolated shower, but we're not anticipating severe storms, or we're not anticipating these storms to be widespread. Only a handful of spots could see them tomorrow. The rest of your day, before those storms come, we're going to see those temperatures climbing toward the 90-degree mark out there. So this is at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Temperatures right around 90, 81 by 6 p.m. At that point, you can see those showers and storms working their way in the area, upper 70s by the 8 o'clock hour as the rain moves in. From the Weather Prediction Center, this is the outlook for excessive rainfall. We're really interested in this today because think about it. We've received rain over the weekend. We got some last Tuesday, and we're not talking about a few drops, not a half an inch or an inch. I mean, some areas got clobbered with 5 inches of rain, and now you're about to dump more on top of that today. So we do have the slight risk to see some excessive rain, and that's where the concern for flooding begins to come in. I want you to think of the ground as a cup, and what happens when you pour water all the way to the top of your cup and you keep pouring? It spills over, right? So our ground is like a cup today. It can only hold so much water, so we could certainly see some flooding as the ground becomes overwhelmed with the moisture. Now let's look at the rain amounts that we could see. Some areas if you get into one of those pockets of really heavy rain, could easily pick up on the 2 inches. Everybody's not going to get that. Some of you may only get about a half an inch or less or so, but for those areas that have already received 5 inches here and another inch there, to add anything on top of it would just really overwhelm the ground. So we could see some flash flooding similar to what we saw over the weekend. That could happen in some neighborhoods out there. So that is why the National Weather Service has actually issued a flood watch for parts of our region. That does include the D.C. area. We'll also see areas such as Loudoun County, the southern edge of Montgomery County, up through Baltimore, Manassas included within that. It's going to start at 4 o'clock this evening and go all the way to midnight. So if you do start to see water rushing over the roads, I would advise that you not drive across it, because you can't estimate just how deep that water is. And 6 inches is all it takes to knock an adult off their feet. 12 inches of water can float most vehicles. 18 to 24 inches of water can carry away most vehicles, including those SUVs. Yeah, I know you think you have a little edge because you have your SUV, but guess what? It's not a boat. It's a car. It's not meant to float over the water. So I would just suggest, just looking out for your safety, that you just maybe just go around, take another route. It'd be the safer thing to do today if we get some flash flooding. So here are the weather impacts for today. We're talking about flooding. We could see obviously some wet roads. That makes things a bit slick and hazardous, especially if you're seeing those wet roads during the evening rush hour. You know, we're all not our best on the roads when it starts to get wet out there. So got to be careful of that. Any wind that pops up, we define a severe wind gust of 58 miles per hour or stronger. That's enough to take down some trees, perhaps knock out some power to some places and make things a little bit uncomfortable there. Now, once we get through this wet pattern, we're going to see the warm pattern work its way in. Heat's going to be on high with temperatures just soaring into the 90s for the majority of the week. Take a look at the next 5 days. You've got temperatures upwards of around 90 on Tuesday, 94 degrees on Wednesday, 96 Thursday. That's looking like our warmest day of the week, and then right around 93 on Friday. Now, Thursday, we do have another chance for some showers and storms, and as you'll see on this 7-day forecast, we also have a chance for some storms on Saturday and Sunday as well. But the primary threats that we are concerned about today would be the threat for some stronger to severe storms to work their way into the afternoon. So if this is the time where you're picking up your kids from camp, from daycare, or for some after school or summer school activities, could be soccer, whatever it is, that's going to be the time that we could see those showers and storms coming in, especially 4, 5, 6, and 7 o'clock hours over the immediate D.C. metro area. And just to recap and emphasize again, we are looking at the threat for damaging wind. We could also see an isolated tornado pop up. And of a bigger concern for me is that threat for heavy rain that could lead to flash flooding. That is all on the table today. So we'll just recap the forecast for anybody who is joining us right now. We're here because we have a yellow weather alert for the afternoon for some stronger to severe storms to work their way into the area. So I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. Hang in there with me, and we're going to talk about what we could see coming in. I just want to go over Futurecast again to make sure everyone knows what's going to be happening there. Here you can even see on our satellite how those showers and storms are lining up well to the west of us. They're working their way into West Virginia, but they're going to be coming in here. As they come in and drop that heavy rain, we could see some isolated instances of flash flooding. All right, so back over to our outlook for the heavier rain. There is a slight risk that we could see some of the heavier rain falling, and that could lead to the threat for flash flooding. I want to recap this Futurecast once again. This is 2:30 in the afternoon. If you're wondering what time is this rain going to start, when should I be concerned, the answer is anytime after 2 o'clock. This is area wide, no matter where you live in the DMV. After 2 o'clock is fair game to get a shower or storm in the area. And we could even see a light shower ahead of 2 o'clock. But after 2 o'clock, we start to see the ingredients come together, right? Our front's a little bit closer. We're getting a little bit warmer throughout the day. All of those things will further destabilize the atmosphere. So no matter where you live, after 2 o'clock is your time that we could start to see the showers and storms. It might not rain exactly at 2 o'clock, but that's the window, right? That's the window where things could go south in the weather really quickly. Here's 2:30 on Futurecast. You can see some isolated showers and storms popping up for the immediate D.C. metro area. If you live in D.C., Prince George's, Loudoun, Montgomery, if you're in Chantilly, if you're in Vienna, if you're in Alexandria, for all of those immediate areas, even if you're in Fredericksburg, Culpeper, Manassas, I am thinking that between 4 p.m. and about 8 or 9 o'clock is your window for the immediate metro to see the majority of the showers and storms coming into the area. If you're along the eastern shore, they may not catch up with you to closer to 6, 7 o'clock-ish, and then you would probably be dealing with them until about 10, 11 o'clock if you're on the eastern shore. So just wanted to make sure that that timeline is clear for everyone so that you can plan around it. This means that if you're going to be out at 5, 6 o'clock during the rush hour, that's about the time where we're going to see these showers and storms really start to ramp up just a bit. 3:30 in the afternoon, here's futurecast at 4:30. You see that line that's starting to form? These storms are starting to come together across the area. This is at 6 p.m. Here you've got more showers and storms breaking out over the immediate metro, and they'll be scattered a bit. So in some areas, it could just be light rain for you or a lighter shower. Other spots, unfortunately, they're going to get hammered quite hard there with the heavier rain and perhaps the gusty damaging wind. It's right up here, Frederick, all the way up toward Baltimore, where the Storm Prediction Center has placed us in that slight risk for severe storms. And that's where you could potentially see 1 or 2 of these storms in those areas turn tornadic. So we do have to watch out for that as well. I don't see that happening widespread. I think the chance of it is small, but I don't think it's off the table. And so you're going to have to be weather alert and ready to take cover and move into action should that occur. This is at 6:30 in the evening. Again, still more showers and storms working their way across the area. And this is going to be at 7:30 p.m. We have still some showers and storms. They're starting to push more toward the eastern shore at that point. Remember, I told you guys that's going to be about the time you'll be dealing with it. This is 8:30 p.m. We can still see some storms in Prince George's and over in Anne Arundel County. And then this is at 10 p.m. By 9, 10 o'clock, if you're in the Virginia suburbs, Northern Virginia, I'm thinking at this point you're going to be done with your stronger storms. So you'll be done a little bit earlier. If you're from, let's say, Prince George's up through the eastern shore, you may still have a little bit of action left over. I'm thinking the stronger stuff will be along the eastern shore at that point. And then this is your overnight hours where the storms begin to dissipate. We can be left with some clouds and just a light shower. So just again to recap, our timeline for showers and storms is anytime after 2 p.m. Our threats and hazards include damaging wind. We could also see an isolated tornado. I am also concerned about the threat for heavy rain that could lead to flash flooding. Over the immediate D.C. metro area between 4 p.m. and roughly 9 p.m., no matter where you live, in the immediate area, this is the window that I am anticipating you guys to start getting some of those stronger storms to work their way into the area. Once we get to the overnight hours, we're going to see those storms dissipate. Now, before those storms get here, we'll see temperatures in the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees in most spots. And for the rest of your week, we're going to continue to see those temperatures climbing a bit more. As you can see, again, right around 90 by 4 p.m., but those storm symbols are starting to go up at 6 o'clock. You can see those showers and storms working their way into the area. We do have a slight risk for seeing excessive rain. That means a lot of rain that could overwhelm the ground and lead to flooding, which is why some areas could pick up over an inch or so of rain in a short amount of time, and that could lead to some flash flooding. So the National Weather Service has issued a flood watch. The areas included within this watch include D.C., southern edge of Montgomery County, parts of Loudoun County, Prince George's County, Anne Arundel, all included within this flood watch that will start at 4 o'clock this afternoon and go from about midnight. So you got to watch things around that time. Manassas also included in that, along with Alexandria, Fairfax, Vienna, Chantilly, all included within this flood watch starting at 4 o'clock tonight all the way up through the midnight hours. All right, so weather impacts once again include flooding, wet roads, winds that could gust up to 58 miles per stronger. That's going to be more than enough to take down some weak and vulnerable trees, and also to give us the risk for some power outages. Again, once we get finished with the wet weather, it's going to be the warm weather where temperatures will be soaring to the 90s for the next several days. 94 on Wednesday, 96 on Thursday, and right around 93 by Friday.